Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 22nd, 2018. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's baseball games, look ahead to today's games, go over an injury, a season-ending injury for a big-name pitcher, go over Week 0 lines for college football that I found that are FBS against FCS schools that I didn't get to on Monday. I'll do my NFL TV announcer rankings, make my picks for the Little League World Series games being played today. They're the semifinals, in which the winner of their respective games goes to their either international or U.S. championship games, and I'll discuss a little bit of the Urban Meyer situation. All right. Baseball. Interesting slate last night, a lot of interesting results. The Nationals, a day after pretty much conceding on their season, defeat the Phillies 10-4, or I should say on the day they concede their season. A couple hours after the trades of Daniel Murphy and Matt Adams, the Nationals improved to 63-63. The Phillies dropped to 68-57. 5-9 in their last 14 are the Phillies. Jimmy Cordero improves to 1-0. Victor Arano drops to 1-2. The Braves defeat the Pirates 6-1 as they improve to 70-55. Pittsburgh drops to 63-64. Kevin Gausman improves to 3-1 as a Brave. Ivan Nova drops to 7-8. The Blue Jays defeat the Orioles 8-2 as they improve to 57-69. Baltimore drops to 37-89. Sam Gaviglio improves to 3-6. Dylan Bundy drops to 7-12. The Indians defeat the Red Sox 6-3 as they improve to 73-52. Boston drops to 88-39. That's 3 straight home losses for the Red Sox, 3 straight losses in general. Shane Bieber improves to 7-2. Nathan Eovaldi drops to 5-5. Brad Hand gets his 5th save of the season. The Yankees defeat the Marlins 2-1 in 12 innings as they improve to 79-46. Miami drops to 50-77. A.J. Cole improves to 3-0. Javi Guerrera drops to 1-1. Tommy Kahnle gets his first save of the season. Unfortunate for the Yankees, Aroldis Chapman left the game after 6 pitches. The first batter he faced walked, and then he threw another pitch that was outside. Then he pretty much pulled himself from the game due to a nagging injury he's had all season. If I had to make a guess, I would say he'd be placed on the disabled list, and that would be an extraordinary loss for the Yankees. It's funny, the Yankees are 11-4 in their last 15 games, and it feels like they're more like 4-11 in their last 15 games because of all these injuries, whether it's Aaron Judge, Didi Gregorius, Gary Sanchez, possibly now Aroldis Chapman, and also CC Sabathia is on the disabled list too, but he's coming back on Friday and will start against the Baltimore Orioles. The Tigers defeated the Cubs 2-1 as they improved to 52-74. The Cubs dropped to 71-53. Jordan Zimmerman improves to 6-5. Kyle Hendricks drops to 9-10. Shane Green gets his 27th save of the season. The Mets defeated the Giants 6-3 as they improved to 55-70. The Giants dropped to 62-65. Corey Oswalt improves to 3-2. Tony Watson drops to 4-5. The Rays defeated the Royals 4-1 as they improved to 65-61. The Royals dropped to 38-88. Blake Snell improves to 15-5. Glenn Sparkman drops to 0-2. Sergio Romo gets his 17th save of the season. The Reds defeated the Brewers 9-7 as they improved to 56-70. Milwaukee drops to 70-58. Raciel Iglesias improves to 2-1. Dan Jennings drops to 4-5. The Twins defeated the White Sox 5-2. They spoil the debut of Michael Kopech. Minnesota improves to 60-65. Chicago drops to 47-78. Trevor May improves to 2-0. Dylan Covey drops to 4-11. Trevor Rogers gets his 2nd save of the season. The Padres defeated the Rockies 4-3 as they improved to 50-78. The Rockies dropped to 68-57. Robbie Erlin improves to 3-3. Tyler Anderson drops to 6-6. Kirby Yates gets his 5th save of the year. The Diamondbacks defeated the Angels 5-4 as they improved to 70-56. The Angels dropped to 63-64. Brad Boxberger improves to 2-4. Cam Bedrosian drops to 5-3. And Bedrosian was the one who had the throwing error, which led to the walk-off by the Diamondbacks. The Cardinals defeated the Dodgers 5-2 as they improved to 70-57. The Dodgers dropped to 67-60. Luke Weaver improves to 7-11. Heijin Ryu drops to 3-1. Bud Norris gets his 26th save of the season. The Athletics defeated the Rangers 6-0 as they improved to 76-50. Texas drops to 56-72. Brett Anderson improves to 3-3. Ariel Gerardo drops to 2-3. The Astros defeated the Mariners 3-2 as they improved to 76-50. The Mariners dropped to 72-55. Framber Valdez improves to 1-0. Ross Dittweiler drops to 0-1. Hector Rondon gets his 14th save of the season. Today's games at 12:30, you have the Orioles and the Blue Jays. David Hess and Thomas Pannone. At 2 o'clock, you have the Twins and the White Sox. Kyle Gibson and Carlos Rodon. That's a nice pitching matchup. Also at 2 o'clock, you have the Reds and the Brewers. Robert Stevenson against Freddie Peralta. 3:30, Rangers Athletics. Mike Minor and Edwin Jackson. 4 o'clock, Astros Mariners. Charlie Morton and Marco Gonzalez. 7 o'clock, Phillies Nationals. Zach Eflin and Steven Strasburg. Braves Pirates. Julio Teheran and Trevor Williams. Indians Red Sox. Carlos Carrasco and Brian Johnson. Yankees Marlins. Lance Lynn and Trevor Richards. Cubs Tigers. John Lester and Francisco Liriano. Giants Mets. Chad Kelly and Noah Syndergaard. Royals Rays. Jacob Junis and Ryan Stanek. 8:40 Padres Rockies. Jacob Nix and John Gray. Angels Diamondbacks at 9:40. Odrisamer Despaigne and Clay Buchholz. Last but not least, ESPN Cardinals Dodgers. Cardinals going for the sweep. Jack Flaherty against Walker Buehler. I'm going to say the Cardinals pull this off. They're just on a roll right now. So give me the St. Louis Cardinals to pull off a 3-game sweep of the Los Angeles Dodgers in Shavaz's regime. Yu Darvish is out for the season. They shut him down. He really was a liability for the Cubs this season. It was just a lost year for Darvish. He should be ready for spring training next year. He has a stress reaction in his elbow. That's just too bad. But at least the Cubs knew it was a possibility and went out and got Cole Hamels. Maybe they'll get somebody else on the waiver wire. So their rotation now is Lester and Hamels at the top and Jose Quintana. And also you have Kyle Hendricks in that fifth spot. It's been like a rotating thing between Mike Montgomery and Tyler Chatwood. Chatwood has not been a good free agent signing by them. Mike Montgomery is one of their good swing guys. He reminds me of Adam Warren of the Mariners, formerly of the Yankees. The two FBS teams that are facing FCS opponents, as game lines came out for the weekend. I mentioned on Monday's podcast, and I thought UMass would be giving 26.5 to Duquesne, and UMass is actually giving 24.5, so it's 2 points off there. Prairie View A&M at Rice, I projected Rice to be giving 20 points. Rice is giving 18.5 points, so I was a 1.5 off from there. So my week 1 line guesses were actually not that far off. The furthest one I was off was Wyoming and New Mexico State. I said that Wyoming would be giving 6. In reality, they're giving 3.5. And then I said Colorado State would be giving 14.5, but they're giving 14, so I was only a half point off there. So not a bad job for week 0, guess the lines. It's going to be fun doing it for week 1 because there's a lot of games. Now I'm going to be doing my NFL TV announcer rankings. This is a mix of the Fox guys, the CBS guys, and the few of the ESPN and NBC guys as well, or ladies too. There's a woman in this rankings who happens to do games for CBS as well. I'll get to her in a minute. I'm going to go from 22 to 1 because it's always more fun like that. Number 22, I have Dan Hellie of Fox. He's a little inexperienced at the NFL, but he's going to be calling games this year. As well as guys 21 and 20 and 19 on this list. 21 is Jim Lampley of CBS, kind of inexperienced in terms of NFL, as well as number 20, Brian Custer of Fox. Custer Morley does college football, so he'll be getting some NFL chances this year, as well as number 19 on the list, who is Kevin Kugler of Fox. I believe he's done a couple NFL games, but he's mainly college for them. 18 is Dick Stockton. He calls football games on Fox. And he's aging a little bit, but he's still a pretty solid announcer, as well as number 17 on this list, Sam Rosen, who calls NFL games for Fox. He's mainly known of being the voice of the New York Rangers for hockey. Expect him to be pretty high on the NHL local TV announcer rankings once I eventually get to that. But Rosen has done football the last few years still, and he's okay at it. His specialty is hockey, as every sports fan should know, but he does a nice job with football. 16 is Tom Brenneman. Similar situation with him. His specialty is baseball. He's the play-by-play voice of the Cincinnati Reds, but he also does football. Does a nice job with football. Has shown some enthusiasm, as well as Rosen and Stockton, too. Pretty much everybody on this list. 15 is Andrew Catalan. He does games for CBS. He's pretty good at what he does. He's shown some enthusiasm. He's a young kid, and I think he's somebody that will be rising within the next couple of years. 14 is Tom McCarthy, who is mainly known to be the voice of the Philadelphia Phillies on NBC Philadelphia. He's done some good football calls in the past. He was with Fox and now he's with CBS. But I really like McCarthy, and he usually brings a lot of energy. 13 is Spiro Ditas, who's bounced around a little bit in terms of sports. People remember he used to be the radio voice of the Los Angeles Lakers. And then he eventually was the radio voice for the New York Knicks for a few years. And while he was doing that, he's been doing football on CBS and college basketball on CBS as well. But Spiro's okay, and he also does Chargers preseason games. I think his specialty is best is football, and I think he brings a lot of enthusiasm when he calls games. Number 12 is Kevin Harlan, somebody else that's very enthusiastic when he does games. But in my opinion, he excels better in basketball, so expect him to be ranked pretty high once I do the NBA national TV announcer rankings. But Harlan's pretty solid at football, too. I like his energy. He calls preseason games for the Green Bay Packers. And also does football for CBS. Well, he works for Turner Sports, so he does, obviously, TNT for basketball, and then CBS for football and college basketball as well. Number 11 is Beth Mowins. She will be calling the Jets-Lions game on ESPN in Week 1. She's also called a couple games on CBS in the past for football too, and she also does college football on ESPN. I think she's excellent. She's a rising star in the business. I had her ranked pretty high in these rankings for a reason. Number 10 is Kenny Albert, who calls football games on Fox. He's pretty good at what he does. He always brings enthusiasm. And he also does a lot more than just football. He does baseball on Fox. He's mainly known for being the radio voice of the New York Rangers on ESPN New York. He also subs in for the Rangers on MSG, as well as the Knicks on MSG whenever Mike Breen has an ESPN assignment. So Kenny Albert's all over the place. And also he does NHL on NBC. He's the number 2 guy behind Doc Emmerich. And I think eventually Kenny Albert will be the voice of the National Hockey League once Doc Emmerich hangs it up. So this guy is a star in pretty much every way. And Albert is just a legend because of his father, Marv, as well. Number 9 is Greg Gumbel. He does games for CBS. He always brings energy when he calls games. He also does studio hosts for college basketball, and I believe college football too. Number 8 is Chris Myers of Fox. He, like Gumbel, does studio work as well, except he does studio work for baseball on Fox. And Myers is somebody else that I think brings a lot of energy. 7 is Kevin Burkhardt. He is excellent at calling games. He's a rising star in the business. He started out being the Mets sideline reporter for SNY, or a clubhouse reporter, I should say. And now he's living in Los Angeles. He's doing studio hosting for Fox as well. Calls some baseball games. He's the number 2 guy on Fox now, and like I said, rising star in the business. Number 6 is somebody who is absolutely full of energy and who's a complete star, and that's Ian Eagle. You'll see his name pop up in the NBA announcer rankings too. He's the TV voice of the Brooklyn Nets. He also calls games for college football and NBA. Well, NBA for TNT and in college football for Turner as well. He does NFL on CBS. He always just absolutely brings it. He's always ready for big moments, and he always gets excited, and he's just somebody that never gets old. Number 5 is Al Michaels, somebody who is an absolute legend. He's been calling football games for years. He's the lead announcer on Sunday Night Football on NBC with Chris Collinsworth. He's also pretty funny because he likes to mention gambling props while calling the games. But he's had so many excellent calls through the years, and that guy's a legend. Number 4 is the newest announcer for Monday Night Football, and that's Joe Tessitore. This guy is a rising star in the business. He was excellent at calling college games, and now he gets his opportunity to call NFL games. He absolutely deserved this promotion. He's a better announcer, in my opinion, than Sean McDonough. And he's going to bring a ton of energy to the Monday night booth. And I believe him, Jason Witten, and Booger McFarland are going to be a smashing success together on ESPN. Number 3 is Joe Buck. Unpopular opinion among sports fans, but I actually really like Joe Buck, and I think he's a fine announcer. A lot of people criticize him for being against their team. But no, I don't believe that at all. I think that had to do with Troy Aikman and Tim McCarver. Well, Tim McCarver in the past more than him himself. But Buck's great at what he does. He's always ready for big moments. His call on the Minneapolis Miracle last year when the Vikings beat the Saints was just tremendous. He's had some great calls on the Super Bowl as well in the past. Number 2 is Mike Tirico of NBC, formerly of ESPN. He sometimes calls football games for NBC whenever Al Michaels can't do it. He usually does some Thursday night games and some NFL Network specials. I really like Tirico, and NBC has a good one on their hands, and ESPN lost a pretty good talent 2 years ago. And Tirico is somebody that I think is going to have bigger opportunities in the future at NBC. And number 1 is Jim Nantz of CBS. I think he's outstanding at what he does. He always is ready for big moments. He's very, very fair. All these guys are pretty much fair, but Nantz is just absolutely great. He's known for his catchphrase, "Hello, friends," before he calls a game, whether that's in football or college basketball or even golf sometimes. But Nantz is a star in the business, and he's going to be around for a little bit while longer, because I just think he is really, really good at what he does, and I think he's underappreciated by sports fans. That's it for the NBA TV play-by-play rankings. Little League World Series, some big games today. You have South Korea and Japan. You have Puerto Rico and Canada. Michigan, Georgia, and New York, Hawaii. Let's start the international bracket. I believe the 3 o'clock game is Puerto Rico and Canada. Both of these teams have been pretty good so far in this tournament. Canada's rallied after losing their first game. Puerto Rico has looked really good in this tournament. Give me Puerto Rico. South Korea and Japan. Japan's always been good in this tournament. So is South Korea. I think this is going to be a great game. Give me Japan. 3 o'clock, you have Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan against Peachtree City, Georgia. Hard call. Both of these teams have been good. Georgia's won their first couple games, and they lost actually to Hawaii. And Michigan lost to Hawaii as well. I like both of these teams a lot. Michigan's shown a lot of heart. They had a come-from-behind win in this College World Series, and I like them to advance to the U.S. Championship game against the winner of Staten Island, New York, against Honolulu, Hawaii. Hawaii's been excellent in this tournament, has been unbeaten. Same for Staten Island. I think Staten Island will be the team that moves on. So give me New York against Michigan in the title game. And in the consolation game will be Georgia against Hawaii. Right now, there's an investigation going on with Urban Meyer. The decision is coming soon. I obviously will talk about this on tomorrow's podcast if it's a significant decision. Ohio State will announce its findings and the decision on Meyer today, and they are currently meeting right now. I'm very fascinated to see how this plays out. That's it for today's podcast. I'll be back tomorrow with the baseball recapping and go over the Urban Meyer situation, anything else that happens in the world of sports. I'll also be doing my season predictions for the 2018 college football season. And I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.